How does a gardener get plants to grow? They can't make it happen. One crucial part is providing the right kinds of energy, meaning a balanced mix and clean energy inputs that won't pollute the soil. The same is true for people. Bear with me. The analogy between earth and people is a powerful one, and the point here is that both people and soil are complex organisms, and we can't expect to understand or manage them in detail. Instead, what's important is to provide balanced, healthy inputs, have flexible aims about outputs, and let natural processes get on with it. You may remember the four elements viewed by medieval alchemists as the basis of all life: earth, air, fire, and water. For gardens and farms, these elements, earth, air, sunlight, and water, are the essential growth ingredients, and they give us a simple guide to 4 energy sources that people need. The biological activity in the earth is a kind of natural power station. It draws from air, water, sun, waste, and minerals. These are converted into fertility, energy for plant growth. Putting this more technically, a balanced set of natural inputs will sustain a high level of organic matter or humus in the soil, and a healthy level of microorganisms. It's these parts of the soil which are key to its resilience to disease and extreme weather, and to enabling good growth of plants. The human body is a powerhouse too, if it gets the right energy inputs. For human ground condition, our physical inputs, especially food and drink, are a vital influence on our physical energy level. If we rely heavily on kickstart inputs, such as sugary food and caffeinated drinks, this will create the same problem as artificial fertilizer on the land. The price of the short-term boost is depletion of our underlying vitality. In fact, there are strong similarities between the role of microflora in the human gut and in the soil. We can't control them, but we can create the right conditions and diet to help them raise resilience and vitality. There are many ways to cultivate physical energy, such as aerobic exercise, which gets the circulation moving, and relaxation. Most of us carry stress in our body, which affects physical vitality if it's not released. Everything you do to improve the other 3 energies will help your physical condition too. If you feel positive, think clearly, and have a strong sense of purpose and vision, imagine how this can raise physical energy, and how the opposite will reduce it. In cultivating your physical energy, be observant and creative. Many people respond to their physical ailments the way a chemical farmer treats weeds, simply grabbing a quick fix to suppress the symptom. An organic farmer knows that a specific weed has a specific message. It is saying something about the condition of the soil and the response it requires. In the same way, if you know how to observe your physical condition, you can learn what you need to maintain your energy. Complementary health practitioners, such as homeopaths, herbalists, osteopaths, or nutritionists, can help you learn this skill. In the growth of the plant and the life of the soil, water has 2 main functions. First, it carries energy and nutrients down into the earth and up through the plant. Second, the hydrogen and oxygen in the water are an energy source in their own right. However, water can also carry problems such as diseases or excess nitrates from artificial fertilizer. The system can be parched or swamped. Too little or too much water both cause problems. These properties of water provide pointers for emotional energy in human systems. If I want to move a situation forward, it helps to share positive feelings with others, like appreciation and care. This positive emotional energy will nourish growth, just like watering a plant. Water is a power source in its own right, and so are emotions. For example, appreciation is one of the best natural energizers. Remember a time when you felt deeply valued. Can you recall the flow of energy this created? Water tends to spread and permeate, so we need to channel it through plumbing and drainage systems. The same is true of emotional energy. We can easily be swamped or flooded by feelings if we don't manage them. We may require a better drainage system. In human terms, this means ways of managing emotions such as clear communication and conflict resolution. We may also need a better balance between the elements. If a piece of ground is waterlogged, air and warmth will help to dry it out. The parallel for people is to engage your sense of purpose and your mental skills to clear an excess of emotion. Appreciation is a good example of clean energy, renewable and non-polluting. If you feel that your approach to life or work is too dry, what can you do about it? It's quite easy to start a rhythm of appreciation. Make a habit of praising more than you criticize. Value yourself and others. This can create a virtuous circle, a progressive spiral in which people around you do the same. It is by feeling recognized and appreciated for what they are doing right, not by being criticized for what they've done wrong. In this model, fire or sun equates to mental energy. The sun's energy animates the life in the soil and the growth of the plant. In the same way, mental energy enlivens all parts of our life. Mental energy is fiery, and there's more to it than thinking. It includes a flash of intuition, a burst of human creativity to spark a new solution, and the burning heat of determined concentration. Let's dig further into the parallel between sunshine for plants and mental energy for people. In a chilly spring without sun, seeds don't germinate, and there's no growth at all. In a blazing hot summer, plants may get scorched and die. If your brain is cold, inactive, you can't lay plans or make good decisions. And if your brain's on fire, overactive, you may think too much about things and leave no room for other ways of seeing the situation. For example, the emotional aspects. You can't force your brain to work, but you can create the right conditions, give it stimulus and steer it. Research shows that mental energy is stronger when you are physically healthy and relaxed, when you have variety and a sense of purpose in your life, and when you are neither repressed nor swamped emotionally. If you really imagine mental energy as fire, this should give you guidelines for generating and managing mental energy. I find it helpful to picture my brain like a wood-burning stove. If the fuel is too wet, it's hard to start the fire, and I get a choking smoke instead of useful heat. Conversely, if the wood is too dry, I get high heat for a while, but no sustained output. We often think of emotion as impeding our brain, which it does at the extremes. However, the most productive mix for plant and human growth is moderate amounts of heat and water. Used well, emotional energy can fuel our mental processes and raise our overall effectiveness, so nourishing our well-being, feeling happy, helps us think more clearly. Fire also needs air for combustion. To get a stove started and burning strongly, I need to open the stove's dampeners wide and provide plenty of air. And to kill the flame, all I have to do is shut off the airflow. This highlights the connection between mental and inspirational energy. To fire up your mind, you need a strong sense of purpose and vision. When life feels pointless, our brain shuts down. For plant growth, air has two key functions. First, as an enabler. Healthy soil has around 25% air content, and these spaces let water, warmth and air circulate within the earth to generate growth. Secondly, the air is a source of fertility. 78% of our atmosphere is nitrogen. The air element equates to inspirational energy, a sense of higher purpose, wider perspective and vision. The term inspiration, like the word spirit, derives from the Latin spiritus, meaning breath, air, or soul. What this model highlights is that vision and purpose are a powerful energy source, a fuel for growth in their own right. Think about outstanding achievement in any field: sport, the arts, service to society, or your own life. Inspiration is part of the power we need for real fulfillment. Consider the qualities of air and how these also describe inspirational energy. It's invisible, intangible, yet always around us, available. If we are tense or defensive, our breath is shallow and we don't access its full potential. There's a link between inspiration and breath. If I am tense, taking several long, slow breaths gives me a sense of expansion and relaxation, helping me to see the situation in perspective and connect with my intention and purpose. Breathing more deeply adds oxygen into the bloodstream, which enhances brain activity and mental energy. It also helps to release physical and emotional stress. Accessing your inspirational energy can be as easy as breathing, but other techniques are also important. Finding a visioning process which works for you and enables you to find clarity and purpose even in complex and confusing situations. You may need to cultivate your ground condition and soil structure to be able to harness the air element. For example, compacted or waterlogged soil and people all need more air. If you want to learn more and deepen your roots to grow through uncertainty, then please take a look at our book, Natural Happiness by Alan Heeks. It's available from Books Publishing. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe for future content, and we'll see you next time.